Adil. Okay, awesome.
Hello.
Yeah, good to have you
Yeah,
guys here.
I got an option here
Okay, okay,
that I started with God.
yeah. All right, guys. So, good evening and welcome to another Asha session. My name is Osaz, and I'm going to be just helping to moderate MC stuff here. Thank you so much for joining us again. You know how this goes down. I just have a few just few minutes, a few hours of learning something new and just seeing how we can get better as designers. Right. So we have like awesome designers join us and just share their tips and their tricks, and we are able to ask questions at the end. So the way this goes is I do an intro and then the class, I don't want to say class now, that sounds very formal. But yeah, it gets started and then we keep our questions until the end of the session, right? So throughout this, I want to just encourage us to keep our cameras off and to keep our mics muted until we are asked to, so that we don't tamper with the recording, because this is actually being recorded, and we're going to be releasing all the edited ones very soon to our YouTube channel. So if you're not following, please, you may want to do that now. I will share the links and all of that. Yeah. Okay. So can you guys hear me? Please let me know. Did you guys hear me?
Yeah, we heard you.
All right. Thank you. So today we have Victor, and I'm just going to allow Victor to introduce himself and get started. Yeah.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the open. This going to be an amazing section for everyone to come and learn, introduce yourself. Can you guys hear me? Just need
Yeah.
the feedback. Okay, that's perfect. So, yeah, like Osa said, my name is Victor Onazi, um, graphic designer. So I'll just be talking about time management for designers and basically stuff that I do that help me, and I guess it's still helping me till today. And I feel like it's something that I should actually share with people, people feel impacted by this. So I'll be sharing my screen now. So thanks. So, yeah. So can you guys see my screen?
Yep. You can. Don't worry about the adding. I'll do that.
Okay, that's perfect then. So yeah, I'll be talking about time management for designers. Basically, it's for everyone as well, because there's not just because time management basically will work for everyone, every individual, because everybody has to like schedule their time appropriately in order to like get things done well and all. So like I earlier stated, my name is Victor, a product designer. I basically just love designing user products and helping business meet their goals. I know it's a common thing people do say, but yeah, I actually do it. So I'm being honest. And I love music and I love watching movies. I watch a lot of movies. I do a lot of fun stuff with movies. So yeah, but yeah, that's just a side designing. That's what I do. So don't just go straight to it, straight to class. Yeah. So time management. I guess it's something that definitely everybody must have been hearing about, and it's something that makes people scared. And I get a lot of conversation where people say that 24 hours is not enough for them. I know it's really scary. Sometimes too, 24 hours might not really be enough for me too, but until I found out some basic trick, I guess that was what I was able to like do in order to just help myself and all. Like this definitely said what time management is about. So time management is just like an act of managing your time making sure it's very productive. So this is just like the lowest definition I could give. And in terms of why I did give this definition, it's for everybody to just to be able to familiarize yourself with this, because time management is just basically managing the time and making sure it's very, very productive and all. So before I even go forward to the next slide, I'll just be talking, giving like a nutshell what I'm speaking about. I'll be talking about why time management and how time management have basically helped me. And disclaimer here, these are basically going to be my own tips in terms of how time management has helped me and how I'll be sharing this tip with you guys, but it might work for you, yeah, and definitely it's been working for me for years. I mean for years, probably like close to like 2 years or 3 years now. So it's something that I've been doing and it's been helping me so far. So yeah, so I'll be moving forward with the wide time management. So this is just a meme here, time. So like I said earlier on, I love music. So I don't know if you guys listen to NF, because NF is one of my favorite artists. I always rap out there because it talks a lot of impactful stuff and all. So NF said time, said in this time, but I'll be teaching you guys how to manage time. And in a nutshell, yeah, I don't want to don't mind my slides. Please just help me and manage my slides. Even though I'll be teaching how to manage time, just please help me and manage the slides. So yeah, I know the slides not really interesting, but yeah, it's something here. But please and please, like like I said, I'll be taking you guys through why time management and all. So yeah, so why time management basically? So for personal development, so I feel like people, every individual needs time management because of they need to be able to develop themselves personally. They basically develop themselves personally in terms of building new skills, acquiring new skills, getting new brands in the industry. Like I remember because when I was starting out my career, like I started as a front end engineer, and time management is one thing that helped me develop a new skills in terms of getting design into my bag, so into my CV. So time management is one thing that actually helped me. And in terms of how I develop my personal skills, like I just stumbled on the internet and I started learning about design, and product design came in play, and I just got into it. And personal development was majorly one thing that I used to like get started with product design and all. Like we all know that we're all busy with work and all, but with time management, yeah, if we can manage our time properly, it will definitely help us in our personal development and our personal growth in terms of we acquiring new skills, in terms of we getting new grants in the industry and all. So yeah, personal development is one of the major highlights I would point out. And the second one is work-life balance. I know this is like a very huge topic. In fact, this is like a whole section on this one, work-life balance, because people definitely just come talk about work, 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 work. They forget that the fact that people actually need to have like a life in between. So sorry to say, but a lot of people just talk about work, 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 and really, they don't really relate to life. And life actually matters as well in terms of your personal being, your personal health, and everything basically and all. So you should like learn to manage your time and have plan schedule for your work in your life. Like this is one of the major highlights for time management as well. So why time management? Like you need to time management because of the work-life balance. You don't want a situation whereby you just preoccupied with only work and all. As designers, I know we really get purple in terms of we having to like deal with a lot of pixel, talk to a lot of users and all that and that. But having to like balance this particular thing between your work and your life will definitely help you. So like I said, this is like a whole topic on its own. Like it's just me highlighting why we're talking about time management here. So this is like a whole topic on its own. So work-life balance generally, just yeah. So the other point is mental health, yeah. So mental health is like you having to talk about how how to deal with your health, because health is wealth basically. I really don't have like a definition for this, but for what I'll just say what mental health for my little understanding of what mental health is about is that is something that deals with you and how you can control your mind and making sure it doesn't just tamper with your health. A lot of people, in fact, a lot of techies in quotes like have not to say most of them have like mental health structure, like it's all well, but it's very important to like structure it in a good way that it's well and it's well okay with them. So before I move forward to the next slide, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me, just say hi or something. So I'll just know we are having like a
Hi or something. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for that. Like, thanks for the feedback. Let me not look like I'm just talking. And, yeah. So, like I was saying about mental health, it's very important. Look, I remembered when I had issues with my mental health, like it was because of I had so much stuff I was doing, and I didn't take a break in terms of I was just doing my thing, work. Why I broke down and it like breaking down in the sense that I couldn't like do anything. I couldn't really just work. It let burnt out and it was really depressing because I was just mentally drained. My head was just paining me every five minutes. It was due to the fact that I wasn't able to just manage my time well, and due to the fact that I was just filled up with work and always not always if anybody call me, hey Victor, what's up? How far are you there? Are you available for this day? Yes, I'm available. So I'm always up and running. But I need my personal growth and all, but it was still not really good for me because it messed with my mental health and all. So I would advise anyone, and this is why we're talking about time management, is you should please have a structure for your mental health. And all. So I'll be moving to how. So this how we're just basically talking about me personally. Like this are what has helped me so far. And I'll not really like go deep, but I feel like this is what basically helped me. And one of the how that like how do I get the most of my time? Like how do I set like my things right? Like how do I make my time very productive and all? Like how do I manage time as an efficient designer? So by setting to-do list. So a couple of times, like years ago, and it's something funny, it's something quite funny, and it's something quite interesting. And I was doing an internship as a front-end engineer, and it was really interesting because of the fact that I would just jam pack everything into one place. And sometimes I might even write it. I don't write anything. I'll just have it in my head that today I'm trying to do something, tomorrow I'm trying to do another thing. But the fact that I don't even achieve even half of what I've already said to do in my head doesn't really pay off. But and I came across this certain to-do list. Like it might be you might think it's like very small, like it doesn't really matter, but certain to-do list can make a very huge difference for you in terms of how to make use of your time effectively. Like you having to set priorities for everything you set for a day, everything you get to do every day. Like waking up in the morning, like I'll just walk you through my daily activity in terms of how I set to do it. So I wake up in the morning, check my emails definitely because that's very important. And I use an application, Google Keep. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but yeah, Google Keep is one thing I could recommend for everyone to actually use. And Google Keep is something that actually helped me and something that helped me set things right in terms of me having to like check box of stuff I've actually attended and actually stuff I actually done. So I will definitely still show you guys like how my Google Keep look like. So it's really messy, but yeah. But definitely it helped me in setting to-do list and making sure my priorities are set right. It's funny enough with after setting to-do list doesn't really make sure it doesn't really matter because sometimes I set to-do list and it comes up in my face and I haven't really achieved everything. Or like me having to say to do this, make sure that I have something I'm supposed to do today, rather than having everything up in my head and assuming that I've done it. Rather, I haven't done it. So saying to do this just helped me. Like once I've done it, I checklist. Once I move to the next step, I checklist and stuff like that. Just basically help me keep me reminder. And I would say at first it might look very difficult because at the very beginning it looked very difficult for me because you might start with paper and everything. You might use paper, but I would suggest you use Google Keep because that's what I use. And having to like set it, you might not really meet up with 80%, like 100% at the very first time. But at least I would suggest that you try to like at least check in your list, like at least even though it's 70%, and to definitely help you. To definitely help you to definitely help you in terms of growing your time management and helping sure you make use of your time effectively. So yeah, that's one thing I would suggest and how it has made me use my time effectively and all. So I'm moving to the next one, avoiding distraction. So first of all, I want to give big shout out to Android users and big shout out to iPhone users. So there's this new feature that came about in iPhone users, and so I'm not snubbing Android users basically, but there's this focus mode share. So this focus mode just basically helps you to like focus on work, focus on stuff. And I guess like it's in the latest areas. I don't really know. Yeah, it's something that have really helped me, and it's just something you can actually try out. Like avoid distraction in terms of you having to not to press your phone during work hours. You can try out the sprint for yourself, like trying out like an hourly sprint, guys. I'm going to say let me work for like from 12 to 4 without touching my phone and everything. So if you notice sorry, I'm going to iPhone again. Sorry for trade users. Yeah. So iPhone basically just helps you to like see how long you spent on some applications and all. So having to not deal with not relating what application will actually make you distracted. Like every time you're online, I'm not saying you should not be online. I'm not saying you should not do all this stuff. But I'm saying like you should have like time for this stuff. Like if you want to do this stuff, you make sure that you are focusing your direction on this. You are focusing your attention on this. You are making sure that you are putting priorities right. And this is for you to avoid distraction. And like I said, put your phone on focus mode for iPhone users. And for Android users, I guess they do not disturb. And set a sprint for yourself and give yourself, I'm going to work from like 12 to 4 without touching my phone. And probably I can take break between after 4, then move forward. And so this is one thing that have actually made me to make use of my time effectively because even after even setting to do this, if you don't avoid distraction, you might not even tend to achieve up to 50% of your tasks you set on your to-do list. And I feel like this is very important for you as designers or as anybody in tech industry. You should try to avoid distraction. Distraction is very, very key. It's something that really happens and you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. So please and please avoid distraction. And a friend of mine told me this. I don't know whether it will be helpful for anybody. Like when he's working on a particular task, he carry his phone to his room and start working from the parlor. Like he plugs his phone in the room and works in the parlor and puts his phone on silent and don't have it to like look at his phone and everything. Why I'm focusing on phone because of this is what people are mostly familiar with. Like literally, all of us are literally familiar with phone and how phone has actually distracted us and all. So yeah, try to avoid distraction. Basically, that's it. So I want to check again. Can anyone hear me out? Are you guys following? Please just say hi.
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 All right.
Hi.
Thanks. Hi. Thanks for the feedback. So avoid distraction. It's very important to avoid distraction. I'll keep re-emphasizing on this. Avoid distraction. So yeah, take a break in between work hours. So literally on basically 90% of every contract you work on, like either as a full-time or as an employee or as anything, your contract basically they say probably they might say 95 and probably like 1 hour break in between. So they didn't put that break for just for putting sake because they want you not to have the break. Like literally they want you to have that break. And it's very important because you don't want to be working for 6 hours straight without even taking a break. Like you definitely want out, like in terms of not you have to get yourself straight. You just be working to keep doing stuff that really will actually help you and all. And sometimes taking break in between will actually make you much more creative. In terms of you might just take a break between and that inspiration you've been looking for might just hit at that particular moment and all. And taking break with me might be you having lunch or probably just visiting with a friend or try to enjoy the break in terms of do what makes you happy basically because if you don't do what makes you happy, you might just be frustrated like yeah, my time is not productive at all. So I might not necessarily have to like go back to what you've been doing and you might just be stuck and you might have to block out. I don't know. So taking breaks with you helps, help, help. Because one thing I could actually highlight from this is that it's just a real life scenario now. Like I was working on a particular landing page, and I was on the landing page for about let me say let me say about 3 hours because it was a side gig, it was a side project I was working. So I was on the landing page for about 3 hours. Just I don't even know what I was doing. So at first, I was gathering inspiration, looking for other sites to work on, looking for similar sites that might follow the structure of my design I want to follow, or looking for similar stuff I want to follow. But I was literally not okay. I was not satisfied. I was just moving up and down. So basically, for that 3 hours, I was just distracted. It was very unproductive. But after those 3 hours, I decided to like take a break in terms of me having to just step out of my house, like taking a stroll. And I did that. And when coming back, like it's like my head had this like refresh and was a particular memory. I mean, one stuff in my brain just connected, like two dots just connected. And I got what I was looking for. The inspiration came to me. Boom, bah! Within 30 minutes, I was able to come up with the landing page. I was struggling to design for 3 hours without achieving nothing. So yeah, taking break in between work hours will actually help you. So that's just it about this. So conclusion, make sure that you remember that before you are a designer, you are human. You are a human being because work no dey finish. I wouldn't lie for you. Work no dey finish. So make sure you take break and make sure you put yourself, you set priorities right and making time very suitable for you in terms of you having to structure things how you want it to be or how you plan it to be because making sure everything's are done properly right. Like I said, to-do list will actually help. And let me just show you guys what my to-do list looks like. Let me just show. So like I said, yeah, I use Skip. So this is like, so yeah, so this is how it looks like. You just have to like set things right, making sure everybody. So this is just me like just moving through, So basically, this is what I use basically. I use Google Keep. And yeah, he's been helpful. Like he's been very helpful in terms of me having to wake up in the morning, set things right for myself and all. So yeah, that's that about that. So so yeah, back to the conclusion. Like I said, you are human first. Make sure you keep that. If you shut down, work continues. Make sure you continue to manage your time, and time management is as important as you working for a 9 to 5 job. And please, I hope these my tips will be able to help you guys, even though I know it's quite short, but like I said, this is what works for me. And I'm very certain this can work for you if you take this seriously. So remember, avoid distraction too, because distraction is is the killer of productivity and all. So yeah, thanks for listening. Question. If you have any question, you can just say.
All right, thank you so much, Victor, for just the reminder and then just the call to be more intentional about how we manage our time, because time is like the most valuable resource that we have as humans, and particularly as designers who want to be super efficient. I was just wondering for people maybe like just wondering for people maybe wondering uh the way you use Google Keep, like at what time do like people have not seen it. I don't think they have seen the extent of how structured you can plan out your day. But how what's your process like? At what time do you start creating the to-do list and all of that? And how do you break down, okay, what this is what goes on to my task? Are there stuff you add in every day? Just for someone who can get overwhelmed with the thought of it, how do you suggest they can go? But maybe you should have like a practical session. Yeah, you're muted by the way. Hi Victor, if you can hear me, you're muted.
So sorry, I've been speaking for like a bit. Yeah.
No problem.
All right. So like you said, yeah, as I've just been doing like a walkthrough of how like I set my to-do list for those people that might get overwhelmed. And so yeah, I wake up in the morning, like I rightly said, check my emails and checking my email in terms of like looking for probably hacks I've been given and all. And I check my email, and if I'm given like a particular task, I might just come here. And so this is Google Notes. So I Google Keep by the way. So those that just need to using this particular app. So this is Google Keep. So this is where I just store my bunch of stuff here in terms of how I structure my things daily. So I just give it like a heading, to-do list, and Google Keep helps you to like add labels. So you can create a new label, like let's say monthly, weekly goals. Like I said, the way I structure my things have actually helped me in terms of my time management and all. So this is the weekly goals. What am I supposed to achieve this week? So I click on this and probably, yeah, I work accordingly. So probably design a landing page for hoodie. So in doing this, prepare to show check those. And talk to my product manager about the product. So these are like these are how like I set my to-do list, and I give it like a pin. Like I set it as a pin, and this is something that I set as a pin. And in doing that, just make sure everything's all right. Once I'm done with the landing page, check this. If I'm done talking to my PM, I check this as well. So these are like stuff I do day to day, and I make sure, even though I don't finish 100% of this, so this list might be like probably up to like 10 tasks, and tasks might be divided into subtasks. So just depending on how you want to structure your stuff and all. Well, after I've checked in all this stuff, then I look back the next day, the following day, I'm like, have I met all my tasks for this day? If I haven't completed everything, then I move it to the following one, and which is basically how I move my tasks up and down. So yeah, so that was like the practical section of how I do my to-do list and how I tend to manage my time in terms of setting to-do lists. And so I hope that was helpful. So yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I saw a hand up. Was that John?
Yep, it was John. Can you guys hear me well?
Yep.
All right, so thank you so much for the amazing session, Victor. I have a question. So,
All right.
when designing, yeah, like sometimes you get like in the mood and you design for a long time because you can't really stop because there's like juice is flowing and you're killing it and you're designing well. So most times when you check the time, it's like let's say you started by 2, it's already 8 p.m. All right, but you still can't stop. So I know like I know having a structured day helps, right? But like there's sometimes that you just keep going and going and going. So how do you like design like a nice management system for when that happens? And also how do you like break down time in terms of work? For example, now like you are to design a product. You say, okay, I spend this amount of hours on getting the systems out first. I spend this amount of time getting a strong foundation. Then I start adding the features, all those kind of things. How do you do it when it comes to you approaching work and when you just go with like you're just in the mood to just keep on going and keep on going? Thanks.
All right. Thanks so much for that question, John. Like, a very interesting question because the first one, like you said, sometimes the design might just hit you to that particular point whereby just keep just keep flowing, and you don't even know how to stop and all because you believe that you stop and inspiration might not come back if I'm correct. So yeah. So at that particular point, me personally, I would just say that you should stop for a bit, but not really like stop totally because you don't want a situation whereby you be on one spot for a very long time, for a very long period of time. You might have like sorry, so to say, but literally, you might have back pain or stuff that will just keep you like in a very cold spot. And you don't want to go through that particular thing because if you keep on going and keep pushing yourself in doing something straight, it might weigh you down because this is what has actually happened to me. I'm speaking based on experience, but you don't want to design something for like 8 hours. No, I get the point whereby you said that inspiration might just keep coming, inspiration might just keep flowing and all. But I'm not saying you should just stop. Like take like a 10 minutes break is not too long. Like a 10 minutes break, just in terms of taking a walk or just stretching out or just moving around your house and all. Then come back to it and all. So yeah, I guess that might have answered that question. So the other question is you having to like, how do you set time for each of your futures, or probably for a particular product? How do you set time for each of your product? So probably you might be working with a PM or a product, yeah, product manager or something, or someone basically. And yeah, in terms of doing that, I guess like setting priorities right to actually help in doing that. In terms of you having to like know what is to be achieved first and know what is supposed to be achieved last. I probably might give this more focused attention. I might not really have like a time for this, like because it's your own product. You know how long it will actually take you to design a particular feature. You know how long it take you to design a particular application. But in terms of future wise, I just say that this feature is very, very important. Probably let's work on it and focus my attention on this properly. So prioritizing things will actually help you in certain time and focusing all your time, attention to that basically. I hope that was able to answer that.
Hey, John.
Hi,
I mean, yeah, thank you so much. It answered my question well.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, if you have any more questions, you can raise your hands, or if you just want to share your experience, because this is also interactive. What has worked for you? How do you um, how do you handle just being able to um,
Okay.
manage your time?
Let me share mine. Like because I just recently got out from a burnout week. So in my company, yeah, the company that I work for. So apparently, the company had overpromised, yeah, and they were short on like delivering. So they had to stress like everyone to get the product out like in a week, like from nothing to a week. Yeah. So every day we're working like all like it, it's not even 9 to 5 again because we had to get out like a demo like in a week. So we're working non-stop Monday to Sunday, right? So in that case, how like I didn't know how to really balance it out or get like some form of time management system, right? Because the more I rest, the more I have to do. So I just spend like 3 hours sleeping, yeah. Then I wake up, I get back to it. So some days I have like mad ass inspiration that I'm moving, but anytime I have that kind of inspiration, I notice that it's unhealthy because after everything runs dry, I'm back to being like miserable, you know. So how do you actually balance your time when there's a very tight schedule or tight deadline, something like that? Because this is not the first time, yeah. So and I really want to like be the king of like um, balancing like short deadlines and all those stuff. So if there are any tips, I would really like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, Victor could answer, but also other people in the on the call. If you want to talk, you can feel free to go ahead and just take the mic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, John, I get your question. Yeah. So to be very honest with you, yeah, yeah, like you always get to that point that you like tight deadlines and all. And at that particular point, it might be mentally draining in terms of you having to like working. Well, what I would just say is that you might not really have choice. Your time management might be very bad at that particular point. But our advice should still take break in between because of you don't want to fall sick. Can honestly, you don't want to fall sick. And if you fall sick, you'll definitely employ that person to continue the job and all, or if you break down. So I know there might be time like that. Talk to people that this is how it has been for me. And if I know that if I work, everybody has their range. That if you work to some very large extent and all, it might really break down. So I got to that particular point in my life whereby, or more, if I can't, if I cannot work again, or I cannot work, nothing can actually stop that from doing that. Or I'll just say you should take break in between, like, to try. That's all. Because talking about time management, you have to manage your time. But definitely those situations will always come. Is like, you always see those situations coming up. So yeah, if anyone has anything to say in terms of how they like manage this kind of situation, you can actually just raise your hand and just speak up. I like it much more appreciated. Yeah.
All right. So while we wait for people to form their thoughts, uh, I also want to mention, because people are asking, like, here we record our session, so we're going to upload this on YouTube. And if you are not following us on YouTube, you might want to do that. So let me just get a link and add it in the chat. Let me get the link and add it in the chat. Yeah, maybe please go on. Thanks.
All right. Thank you guys. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Victor, for this session. Like, it was really enlightening. Um, so about managing short deadline, like managing workload when you have a short time to deliver and there are a bunch of tasks. Like, these are literally been my life for the past 2 years or so. Like, there have been years when I didn't know how to. Like, there have been periods where I've been in the office 3 days straight, sleeping over in the office, just rushing home by maybe 6 a.m. to take my bath and then rush back to the office by 8. I've had horrible periods where there was absolutely no work-life balance for me, where it was just work. And my relationship suffered, my mental health suffered, and my productivity suffered. I've learned that one of the best principles of time management is, I think I'll say two or three. One is learn to say no. You know, and I know this might seem like counterintuitive advice, in the sense that we join our companies, and as much as they're promising us, oh, this is the best place to work, yada yada yada, many times, because we feel we oversell ourselves, which we actually don't. But there's usually this imposter syndrome when you join a job and you feel like they're taking a chance on you and you have to prove yourself. And one thing we often do is to, accept every role, and like, you accept every task given to you with the timeline, right? But one is learn to say no. Like, there are times when the timelines would not work. Like, that accepting this means that I'm not going to sleep this night, or accepting this means that my weekend is gone, or accepting this means that I have to disappoint my friend or family, or that I'm meant to hang out with, you know. Because the truth is, design is a very creative skill and profession. And what that means is that your time out, the time you don't spend designing, is as important as the time you spend designing. Like, we all have stories of when you are sleeping or you're just chilling and ideas are just buzzing in your head, or maybe you're just listening to music or playing game and ideas are buzzing in your head, because there's a part of design that is subconscious. When you're not designing, you give your brain time to rest and time to solve some hard problems that you might not solve when you're just hitting at it. So one thing is, it's important to learn how to scope projects and have an idea of, oh, if I'm doing a brand identity, this is how long it should take me. If I'm designing a screen,
this is how long it should take me, right? If I'm doing a particular task. So it's good to have an idea, like know that this task should take me 1 day, or this task should take me 2 days, or should take me 3 hours, or should take me 4 hours, right? And then when the tasks are assigned to you, if the timeline that you are given is too short for the task. The second thing I was going to say, aside from saying, is learn to be honest, right? So negotiate with the person about time, like the way we negotiate money for freelance project, negotiate about time. And it's usually safer to, if you know that it's a task that will take you 2 hours, ask for 4 hours. Always try to at least double the time if possible, especially for those things that are short. Like if it's 2 hours, ask for 4. If it's 1 day, ask for 2. So that it's like being like over promising and under the over what is it? Under promising and over delivering, yeah. So that if you actually deliver it in 1 hour, right, you get like it's a good thing for you rather than like being pushed to the wall that's like you're past deadline, and it's very stressful when you're past deadline and your PM or your project manager or your team lead is harassing you and like, where's my design, where's my, or your client if you're freelancing, like it is a very stressful place to be, right? So one thing is learning to say no and push back when you know that the timeline you're giving for the task is too short, and like learn to scope projects and add the time, like add your own time, because for most of us that work in organizations, that there can sometimes be meetings that are fixed impromptu, things that might come up, right? And once you jump on meetings, I don't know for everyone else, I can't design when I'm on a meeting, right? So those things eat into the time that you're meant to spend designing. The third thing I would say is if you know you have like, if there are too many meetings in your organization, like you might have to beg them or let them know that, see, I cannot be very productive, like push out a bunch of designs at a high pace if I'm always in all of these meetings. Like if some of these things can be communicated to me async, like put all the thoughts in a document, send stuff to me on Slack, I'll check it out and implement, but please, if I don't have to, let me know be in the meeting, right? So I think that's also something else that can improve productivity. And then another thing, the last one I will say is learn to ask for help, because like for me, it's been one of the things that like hurt me the most at those times because of that drive to I want to impress. But by the time you hit a block, like a mental block, or you don't know how to go through something, I keep solving the problem and it's not working, like immediately stop and ask for help. Reach out to your colleagues, or like thank God you have a community like Ashako Tui, like reach out to someone, go jump on the group and ask questions and get instant help, because that might just solve the problem, like than spending 2-3 hours trying to hit something. So I think that's all I have for now. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Ruby. Yeah. All right, we have Uthman. Yeah, you can unmute your mic and just go ahead.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody.
Hi,
I want to talk about, someone mentioned we have a community like Asha Koteri. So like, I wonder if there is a space for anything beyond Twitter, or probably something like Telegram or WhatsApp space.
Okay. Yeah, there is actually. It's just because we're currently on WhatsApp and there are some limitations on what we can do. We have a Telegram which people are really functional on, but we have a wait list, and I'm going to share the link to the wait list. We are going to be onboarding people again in different sections and batches this year. So yeah, you can apply to that. I'll send it in the description, in the chat. Sorry. Yep. Thanks. Anybody else? Okay, so while we wait for any other questions or suggestions, I dropped a feedback link in the chat. So please, it's very important to us to get some feedback on our sessions. So please take out some time. Just go to bit.ly/Asha feedback sesh. It's in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, I have something to say.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
true.
so when you're taking a break, when you're not designing, what do you guys do for like rest? Because anytime I'm advised to take a break or rest, I get very bored because there's nothing to do, right? Like everything's boring. Take a walk, read a book. So like, what are some of the interests or hobbies you do when you're not designing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
No, go ahead, Victor.
Okay. So that's an interesting question. Yeah. So, but what me I'll say basically is that I should find the definition of fun for you. Like do something fun, not relating to work within a short period of time. So for me personally, what I do is I just watch one episode of Power. So so yeah, I just might be sure, but I'll make sure I like probably I'm eating and I'm watching that particular episode. It's something not related to work, but it's definitely out of work. Like I'm taking anything out of work. For you, it might be playing game or like a 5 minutes game or something. Or for other people, might just be jogging around, walking around. But yeah, you're taking a break. You're making sure you're doing something totally different. Yeah. I hope that was clear, John.
Yeah. I
Yes,
think it
that was
was.
correct.
I think
What?
for me, a challenge I'm observing right now is that I don't think I want to take breaks using my same work device. For instance, if my usual routine is to probably watch a movie or to read a book or something, I'm learning to not do it on my computer because it just feels like work all over again. I just begin to see how things are getting overwhelming. So I would probably do a more offline activity, which is it's a bit difficult, but I think that could be helpful, more helpful than just being on your computer and just being in one same that
Walking
same
around
spot.
is good.
Okay, so we have a hand up. We have Emmanuel. Hello, okay. I hope I called that right.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. No, okay. Yeah. So relating to this question that he just asked, I think I relate to it too, and I think what you can do is a friend and I had this discussion some days back, and she talked about when you are not doing anything design or when you just want to give yourself a break. It is sometimes good to change your environment, just walk out, take some fresh air, explore more places and all things like that. That as you are doing that, you are not thinking about design, and even in the long run, you might just get inspired and you can think of something that you can implement in your design and all those things. So you are relaxing and you are not thinking of design, you are just having fun and you are exploring other spaces. It helps you um have a feel of other places and things like that. Also, what I do personally, and I can relate to you getting bored when you're not doing anything design, you just be sleeping and things like that. But what I try to do is just talk to friends, talk to people, and just not think about design at all, no matter how bored or tired you may be, because forcing design is not the best thing. If you force design, you go back this back and you see that okay, what you did um is not as good as when you are having a motivation to do it. Also, relating to the last question you asked about when you have a tight or a very short time to deliver. So you maybe answered the question perfectly. And before you came up, I wanted to even ask that if you have a short time in a company, why can't you like just negotiate and let them know? Because there's something in design that we call communication in design, right? And you should be able to communicate that, oh, this thing will definitely take longer than a week. It is a large feature, and if you should rush it, then it wouldn't serve the purpose that it is meant to serve, right? So it all falls down to communication. And there is something I do or we do. We use Jira software in the company where I work, and it helps when you have a task or when you have series of tasks. there is a part where you add story points. So the story points here represent how long it will take. So it could be one, it could be two, it could be three, then five, and all those things. So those numbers represent how long it will take you for this particular thing. And if you have to come up with a demo in a week, and I don't even know how large it may be in your company. So if you have to come up with a demo in a week, then number one, you have to work more hours, and that is you neglecting your health, and so you are focused on work, and maybe afterwards you are pressurized because you have a deadline, a very short deadline, and it might not really hit the goal that the app is meant to that the app is meant to actually hit for the users. So it all comes down to communication and letting them know that, oh, this thing will definitely take longer than this, except if we put it as something that comes after the demo, or maybe as the demo is going on, we are working on this on the ground or something. So I think what you can do, or what you can introduce, I don't know if you use it, maybe just have a way to show them that these are my tasks and this is how long it will take for each task. So they will know that, okay, perhaps it's now cost down, maybe in a month or less than a month, it should be done with all these tasks that you have presented to us. So it just helps to visually explain that, oh, these are the things that I'm working on and this is how long it will take. Because when you just feel it is designed, you want a demo, it's, the user will flow with this and this like that. They are not the designers, right? You know what you are doing and you know the amount of work that it will take you. So you should be able to communicate that, oh, I can't do this in a week. If not, you will just have a bad design and you will have a bad reputation for the company. So that's just it from me.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was helpful.
That was really good. Thank you,
Thank
Manu.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. I think another useful thing, really, even though it's quite tricky for us as designers, is to really try to cultivate a life aside of design, right? I'm reminded of that book that says design is a job. And many times design becomes our life because we see design all around us in the conversations we have, in the movies we are watching, in the music we listen to. Design is everywhere, but we need to intentionally be for the sake of our creative energy and all of that, to intentionally know, okay, you know what, I have a life as well. I have a social life. I need to do other things. It's really not helpful to just continue that trend of, oh, all I have is design. I work, I push pixel from morning to night. It is not healthy, and I don't think it's a trend that we need to keep on encouraging people to do, because it feels like productivity is measured now by how many sleepless nights you have, how much you can work at very, very weird times and all of that. So I feel like that could really be very helpful. Um, at the end of the day, a large part of our time management is learning when to take breaks. In fact, more than anything, because breaks seem to be what suffer the most, and that's really what affects our productivity. So it's past 9 already. I don't know if you have any just closing words, closing remarks before we call it a night. Yeah, Victor.
All right. So thanks once again for joining everyone. The one thing I would just like to bring back here. So the one thing about what may be, and I guess Emmanuel said, is the fact that you have to communicate. Like field communication is a very important thing. We as designers, like communicate what can be done, communicate what can be accomplished within a period of time, within a span of time. Just basically communication is one key thing that I feel like we designers we should actually know, feel that is very, very important for us. So yeah, once again, thanks for joining the section, everyone. So yeah, over to you.
Um, I have one more thing to add. It's unrelated. If while we are filling the feedback form, uh, you can state what other topics you would like us to host the session on, so we can find like someone to host one. Or if you would like to host a session with us, then you can also organize that. So yeah, thank you guys for coming out today. Over to you, sirs.
All right, yeah, thank you so much. So for some reason I can't find the waitlist link, but you can just send a message on Twitter. And if you're not following us, please follow us on Twitter. Just send a message, and then we'll be sure to send the waitlist link to you there. Thank you so much again for coming, Victor. Thank you for your time, and thank you so much everyone here for your valuable contributions. Please enjoy your weekend, rest. Work no dey finish. Please rest. It's part of the it's part of productivity. It's part of productivity. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are officially done with this session. Thank you. Let's stop recording.
Hello.
Yeah, Victor, yeah, can you help stop recording there?
Okay, that's fine. So let me just stop it. I'm checking.